Believe it or not, but on paper, anyone can become a millionaire. And the best part about it is that you don't even need an insane work ethic or a high IQ. Does it sound too good to be true? Is it a scam? Well, technically speaking, it's not. Now, if you don't believe me, let's do a quick simulation together. Let's say we decided to invest $100 a month in the stock market with an initial payment of $1,000. And let's also assume that we get a 10% annual return on our investment. If you think it's impossible, it's actually the average historical stock market return on investment, 10%. And it has been the case for nearly a century. So in 60 years, if we do the math, you would end up with almost $4 million. And all it took is putting some money aside every month, investing in the stock market, and letting the compound effect work its magic. Now, I don't know what you think, but personally, I didn't want to have to wait 60 years to have millions of dollars to my name. Just a couple years ago, I was still a broke, depressed guy, and fast forward to today, I'm now running a profitable online business, and I'm having the time of my life while doing so. And as you can guess, I didn't achieve this massive transformation by saving up all my money for 60 years and investing every month in the stock market. In this video, my goal is to show you how you too can obtain a life of true freedom and of true abundance. A life where you decide to pick your own schedule and work to make your dreams come true, not the dreams of somebody else who doesn't care about you. So if you're ready to change your life, grab a notebook and a pen, or open up a Notion tab on your computer to take some notes, and pay close attention to what I'm about to reveal. Step 1. Start by saving money. Now, if you've seen a couple of my videos, you'll know that I hate it when financial gurus or influencers tell you that you should save your way to wealth. Some of them are even going to try to make you feel guilty for spending $5 on a Starbucks coffee. Because after all, you could make it at home for 50 cents instead. You can only save so much money. It's not going to multiply without you having to do anything. And that is one of the keys to actually getting rich. You need to make more money. However, it's true that if you want to change your financial situation long term, the best place to start for anyone is probably to start saving up some money. But why? I understand that the goal is not to save money simply for the sake of saving money. That's completely pointless. The goal is to save up enough money to start your own online business. Aim to save 10 to 40% of what you make. Now, different people in different situations will be able to save more or even less. So just bottom line, take it at your own pace and do your best. Personally, I save between 80 to 90% of everything I make to build wealth even faster. Because my goal is not to flaunt Lambos, my goal is simply to build wealth long term. And besides, I prefer Ferraris anyway. Don't make the mistake of wanting to appear so rich that in reality, it keeps you poor forever. Step 2. Be willing to take calculated risks. Plenty of people claim that they want to make millions, and in fact, they say they will become millionaires. However, if you look at their daily and weekly actions, you'll see that clearly it's not in their priorities. They prefer to stay in their comfort zone, to keep working for that dead-end job that they hate, because at the end of the month, it gives them a paycheck. And I'm not saying that you have to quit your job to start your business, but if you want to start a business, you'll need to work on the side. And if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, to put in the hours after or before your day job, you'll never get there. Plenty of people waste their money on stupid things, on takeout meals, on entertainment, instead of saving up some of that money to build a business that will allow them to be free. And it's fine to spend money on those things, but like I said, you need to ask yourself, what are my priorities? And you really need to understand that the biggest risk is honestly not taking any risks. You're not going to achieve something extraordinary by doing the same things that ordinary people are doing. It's easy to say you're going to achieve this and this and this, but it's hard to sit down at your desk and to do the boring work even when it's the last thing in the world you would rather do. Because the thing that I realized is that my goals, I could achieve them, but the catch is that they were going to take longer, more hard work, more perseverance than I initially thought. So be ready for that. Be ready to put in more effort than you initially thought. Now, this isn't to say that you want to take risks just for the sake of taking risks, because that's completely foolish. Successful people call what we take calculated risks. It means that before making a decision, they carefully weigh the pros and the cons, and they stick with the best option. That's also something that they call opportunity cost in finance. The time, the energy, the money that you allocate to, let's say, starting one business model, it's time, energy, and resources that you can't spend on something else, on another business, for example, on another activity. Let's say you spend 2 hours a day watching Netflix, it's time and energy that you cannot put into the gym or into your business or into something else. That is opportunity cost. What does it cost you to do that thing instead of doing this other thing? And to give you another example, every online business model that you've seen, it works. Dropshipping, Amazon FBA, copywriting, YouTube automation, having a blog, it all works. However, to be completely honest, some of those business models are not meant for beginners. And not only that, but some are much more difficult than others. Some businesses will be much harder to start, they will require more time, more money, margins will be lower, and monthly recurring costs will be higher. Truth is, I spent years of my life that I just wasted trying to flip some Instagram accounts or trying to do some dropshipping when I could have instead just analyzed every popular online business model, found the best for me, and just stick with that one until I succeeded. Because trust me, if I had done that, right now I would be way more successful than I currently currently am. But luckily for you, I've done all of the work. I've recorded a free video in which I analyze every popular online business model. Together we take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can start using literally today to start your business and to get your first customers as quickly as possible, because we don't want to waste any time. The goal is to go from 0 to 6 or even 7 figures as quickly as possible. Step 3. Do your research before you invest. Over the years, I've heard everything and nothing coming out of people's mouths. I can tell you that every single person who told me that I shouldn't invest because it was risky, it was always because they didn't understand anything on the subject. Of course, if you don't know how real estate or how the stock market works, it's going to be a risky investment no matter what, because it's kind of like trying to shoot a target but you're wearing a blindfold. If you just removed the blindfold instead, you'll be able to see much more clearly. So when you don't do your proper research beforehand, then of course you're much more likely to make plenty of mistakes along the way and to end up with an end result which is very disappointing. If I go and start a business tomorrow that I don't understand, the business model is something that I'm not used to, but I'm not willing to do research on the topic, then how can I expect to make it succeed? I'm just going to lose my time and my money into this. So in everything that you do, you want to always be a continuous learner. Truth is, most successful people are avid readers and avid learners. To give you an example, Warren Buffett reads 600 to 1000 pages a day. Now you don't need to be that extreme and to read that much. In fact, do you even have enough time in a day to read that much? But my point is, you always want to research things and to keep learning. Don't assume that you just know everything, because truth is, nobody knows everything. We can always learn from other people. Plenty of people make these mistakes. They've graduated from university, they think they know everything, but that couldn't be further from the truth. This is going to ruin them, because if they have this perspective, they feel like they're entitled. They don't need to learn anymore. They're above all of this. A hungry competitor who's willing to learn, to do the work, even if it's not something that he feels like doing, he's going to completely and ruthlessly crush them. And if you think you know everything, you're not going to be receptive to the advice of people who have the sort of results that you want to have, because you'll think, oh, I know better. Everything I've been able to achieve in my life so far, learning English and Spanish on my own without a teacher, building a stronger and muscular physique I can be proud of, starting a profitable online business. I've only been able to achieve those things because I recognized I don't know everything, and so I was willing to learn from other people who were in the position that I wanted to be in. I've watched countless YouTube videos, read countless books, followed many online courses, and that is why I am where I am today. So I put my ego aside and I went to work. Understand that things are always in motion. What we believed to be true 10 years ago, or what was common practice 10 years ago, it's no longer the same today. Step 4. Avoid the hype. I'm sure you've already heard that if you want to obtain a life that only 1% of people get to experience, you'll need to do what 99% of people are not willing to do. So what this means is that you're going to need to be careful and avoid going with the hype. You want to invest in things that make sense, things that have been around for a long time and that will still be around for a long time in the future. That's why investing in real estate or in the stock market are great investments, because 50 years from now, people will still need a roof over their heads. Companies will still need investors to fund the growth and development of their activities. So instead of investing in the new NFT that everyone is speaking about, be very careful and invest in things that you know will still exist in 50 years from now. Now 20% of the time you can invest in more riskier type of things. After all, who knows, you could hit it big, but 80% of the time, make sure that you invest in things that have actual tangible value. Step 5. Define your goal. Honestly, ask yourself, what's your goal? Do you want to make $10,000 a month in passive income? $20,000 a month? Why that number specifically? Why not more? Why not less? If you have an ideal type of life in mind that you want to live, maybe you want to travel the world, to live the laptop lifestyle, or maybe you want to live, let's say, in a penthouse. Maybe you simply want to provide for the people that you love, to be able to take them out to dinner and pay the bill. Figure out how much money every month you would need to maintain this lifestyle. And then you basically want to reverse engineer. When you do this, when you reverse engineer your goals, it's basically a very powerful way to come up with a great strategy. Because if, let's say, you needed 7 sales calls a week or 7 customers a week to make the amount of money that you want to make, you would know, okay, that's 1 sales calls a day or 1 customer a day. So it makes it very easy to hit daily and even weekly or monthly targets. Because if you don't measure something, you're not going to know whether or not you're actually making progress. And if you don't have a destination in mind, you're never going to get there. It's that simple. Step 6. Set up an automatic transfer. So what you want to do is that when you receive money every month, like let's say your paycheck from your job or money from your business, before you forget about investing, because because you have set up an automatic transfer with your bank, it's going to automatically every month invest a set amount that you determined before into, for instance, an index fund of your choosing or into a particular stock. That way, no matter what happens, every month money will be invested. Step 7. It's a game with levels. You see, the thing that I realized one day is that just like with most things in life, becoming wealthier is kind of like a game. The problem is that most people are trying to skip levels and go straight to fighting the big boss, but they never actually take the time to build the necessary skills to win that fight. So they just keep failing and failing, hitting their head against the wall, and they throw temper tantrums because they don't understand why it's not working out in their favor. They should be successful, but they're not, so they get angry. You've got to understand that what helps rich people get even richer is not going to be the same thing which is going to take the average person, somebody who's low income or middle class, to becoming actually a millionaire, for instance. Investing won't make you rich. It can if you're ready to take the slow route and wait 60 years to have a couple $1,000,000 in the bank. But if you're like me, you want to enjoy your life while you're still young. Your 20s, 30s, 40s, those are your most beautiful years. That is why level 1 is to cut as many expenses as possible, to stop spending money on things that you don't need, and to save up as much money as possible. Level 2, which is the next one, is to start your own business. It doesn't have to be an online business per se, even though it's usually a much better option and a much better way to make money than a regular brick and mortar business. The reason being, it requires a lot less money to start. I mean, if you want to open up a gym, a hair salon, you would need to come up with at least $100,000. And when it comes to jobs, a job will only get you so far when it comes to how much freedom you have, because you could be an executive, you could be making 6 figures a year, you drive a Benz to the office every day, that's great. On the outside, everyone thinks you're a success, but in reality, you work 90 hours a week and you are miserable. You hate your life. What's the point of having so much money if you don't even have time to spend it, or to spend your time with the people that you love? Step 8. Start a business. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't get to where I am today by saving my money and investing it in the stock market for 50 years straight. I did it by starting my own online business. Now, when starting your own online business, you have to be very careful, because not every business model is equal. Plenty of people are going to entice you with this idea of easy money. They're going to say, look, I made $1 million with dropshipping. But what they're not even telling you is that with costs, taxes, transportations, they don't even get to keep 5% of all that. So if you want to start your own online business, like I said, I've recorded a free video which analyzes every popular online business model. The link is in the description below if you're interested. Step 9. Avoid debt like the plague. That is especially true if you are going to get in debt to buy liabilities like, let's say, a car. At the end of the day, when you're in debt, you can't sleep peacefully at night. The more debt you own, the more trouble you're in. Because what happens if for some reason you can't pay it all back? Now you're forced to wake up early every day, to go to a job that you hate, to even work longer hours to be able to repay that massive debt that you have. That is not a good life to live. From what I've seen, most people want to make anywhere between $10,000 a month all the way up to $100,000 a month. Let me tell you that to achieve this outcome, unless you are in a very specific type of situation, you start from nothing, in a third world country, you've got no money, you don't need to get in debt. Step 10. Reinvest as much money as possible into your business. Watch out for early success, because honestly, that is the part where most people just blow it all and they're right back to square one. Imagine this, you start to make some money with your business, you get to $10,000 a month, to $15,000 a month. Your friends, your family thinks that you're a genius. You've accomplished something massive, they're all proud of you, and you're very proud of yourself, as you should be. But then you start to spend more and more money, to go out to dinner more and more often, to go party every night, and to start renting nice cars. But all of this takes time and attention away from your business. Now you're spending more and more, but you're starting to make less, because your customers are getting worse results, because now you're not as focused. When you start to get some initial success, don't let your eyes off the ball. Don't become complacent. It's in our DNA to be lazy. A couple centuries ago, it would have made no sense to be running around constantly, because now you've expended all your energy, and look, there's a tiger coming to chase you. But now you're all tired because you were just running around for no reason. That is why we are wired to conserve as much energy as possible and to only use it when absolutely necessary. So if you understand that, you know that in business, when you start to make some money, you might become complacent. What you want to do instead of going and spending everything is to reinvest as much as possible in your company. So not only are you going to be able to make more money, but you're also going to pay less taxes, because anything that you can business expense, it's money that you're not going to have to pay in taxes. At the end of the day, you can truly have the life that you want, but most likely it will take more time than you think to get there. But at the end of the day, do you really have another option? What's your other choice? So with that said, if you follow the 10 steps we have covered in this video, there is no reason why you shouldn't become more successful than you currently are.